Some of you may have glanced at the picture and thought, oh, are these Hot Toys knockoffs? They look really good, and no, they're not Hot Toys. These are ZD Toys Iron Man figures. You may be wondering, ZD Toys, I've never heard of them. What are these knockoffs? What are these fake? I mean, they still look good, but I mean, are these unofficial product? Well, let me tell you, no, they're not. These are legit licensed products. I think they're only available in they're like a Chinese item, but they are like officially licensed. Here, let me grab the boxes. Let me move these out of the way for you so we can take a look. Here's the Mark III's box. Unfortunately, it is a little misaligned there. But this box is magnetized, has a cover, like with a little ribbon on it. And you can see if you open it up, it has like a one of those scratchy things. And then it's got like the figure inside. Yeah, it's a pretty high-end box. And you can see the back of it too. You can see Iron Man Mark III. It's got the official licensed Disney seal on there. Copyright Marvel. It's all in not English. So yeah, you can see that it's real. These are real. And I was honestly pretty surprised. You can see the Mark II box is kind of even nicer. Still got the little ribbon there. Pretty much the same. I mean, the Mark II is just a gorgeous suit in general. And honestly, this is one of the first Mark II figures. I love the colors too, how all the colors come off of it. It's so awesome. This is actually one of the first Mark II figures that's actually fully painted silver, because the original 6-inch wasn't. Of course, Hot Toys always did. At least the Hasbro Iron Man 2 one was painted silver, but look at that. That's gorgeous looking, man. That's gorgeous. And you may be wondering, these look great. Do they scale with Marvel Legends? Let's get this out of the way. Let's just get this out of the way. Number one, you can see, yeah, they look pretty good. But let's get the Marvel Legends Iron Man Mark III in here, the newly released one, so we can see that the answer to that is unfortunately no. They are a little too big. These are more 7-inch scale, so these are going to fit in more with a Diamond Select collection, or a NECA collection if you're a 7-inch collector and you want a 7-inch Iron Man. These definitely fit in great with those. But unfortunately, yeah, it's it's not really going to fit with Marvel Legends. But me personally, I'm not too worried about that, because I got these to be their own thing, and I am waiting for a Mark I to come out, which they've already shown. I'm waiting for that to come out because I just want Mark I, Mark II, and Mark III. All three of those just looking gorgeous on the shelf. So yeah, so what we got here is the Mark II, and specifically the light-up Mark III. Now, I do not have the light-up Mark II, because at the time of me ordering these, which was a little bit ago, the light-up Mark II did not exist. If it would have, I would have bought it, because as you can see, this Iron Man is fully lit up with his arc reactor and his helmet. You may be thinking, oh man, you're draining the battery, man. Oh my gosh, you're look at this. This is something that, I don't know why Hot Toys just doesn't do this. Yeah, you can just charge him. You can just charge him. I'm going to leave his lights on for the rest of the video. And when I'm done, you know what I can do? I'm just going to charge him. And he'll be fine. I think that's how that goes in. I think so. Yeah, it even has little brake flaps, too, that flip out. And that's actually where you find the button. You press that. Turns off and on. Yeah, that's really sweet. Now, unfortunately, it does have one of those issues with these light-up figures, similar to the Comic Cave ones, where if you turn it on, you can actually see the light poking out from the head, because it's actually like a dome. It's like a clear dome that has the light, and that allows for the head to still have full articulation so it can move around. Unfortunately, as you do move the head further and further, it's going to lose some of the light in the eye that's furthest from the center. But, that's the sacrifice you make when you still have an articulated head that lights up. Because technically the head itself is not lighting up, it's like the neck post that it's on. And the torso too. You can still extend it to get the articulation. You can still move it around a little bit. I mean, he is not hindered in his articulation whatsoever. And you already saw, he's got the tank missile, and he's got the tab that comes out. Way more detailed than the Hasbro one. But you can just get that back in. And then you can actually do it with both arms if you want. You actually get 2 sets of tank missiles, so that's really cool. He currently has a fist and an open hand with the repulsor painted on, but he also comes with some other things. Let's get into that for this version first. So of course he's got a matching fist. He has open hands with holes in them, so you can actually attach, I'm trying to find the other one, you can actually attach blast effects, which he does come with, and I'll show you right now. So yeah, this is something that the Hasbro one omitted for whatever reason, but you can still give him blast effects, which is really nice. And then you have, you know, what Hasbro did, which was open repulsor hands without the blast effects, so you still have those. And then you have open relaxed hands that are facing down, which I also really like. So, I mean, they gave you the hand options for sure. And the Mark II has those same hand options, because it's essentially the same figure, just with some minor sculpting differences. You can see the Mark II also comes with 4 boosters instead of the just the 2, which is, for whatever reason, I don't know why they did that. And also, we got to talk about these stands, because unfortunately they're not very good. So let's get the Mark II off the base, and let's get his boosters at least out of his feet, so we can get him standing up. So yeah, the Mark II is really nice. Unfortunately, mine doesn't light up. I might go back and get the light up one someday, but I don't really see that ever happening. So yeah, this is an amalgamation of the Mark III and the Mark II base. Because these bases, I mean, they look good. You see Iron Man Mark II on there. That looks nice. For some reason, the Mark I doesn't even have that on it, but thankfully I'm not even going to use it. Because when I got this, it's missing the nut to have any tightness. So that joint is super loose. And then trying to get this on, because it's clear plastic, I don't know if you can see, but it has cracked. Can you see that crack right there? Here, let me see if I can get in close. See that crack right there? Yeah, that's cracked. That has like no friction anymore. You can see how it just wants to wiggle. And, I mean, it's got a spring too, and I don't feel like it's tight enough. And you can't even really like switch it out too much. I would honestly use this, I would kind of prefer the spring, honestly, over that, because that's not even that good. And you do have an option with this, where you can not have the crotch grabber, but you kind of need it because you don't have much of an option. You can see if it's not breaking, it's pretty tight. It works all right. These are not very tight at all, the waist clamps, because those literally just like friction fit in. So it's far from ideal, but it's all good. But yeah, you do get the bases and the figures themselves, man. Let's take a closer look. Let's look at the Mark II first. He does have some unique sculpting for all the rivets and everything, and yeah, what can I say? He's gorgeous. He's an absolute gorgeous figure. Look at all the rivets. Look at all this. You can still move the brake flaps up on him. You can see he doesn't have the button or anything. He doesn't have the removable arm panels for tank and missile, because this was a non-weaponized suit. He didn't have any weapons on him. So you can see you can still move the torso up. Has the same range as the light up. And you can see you can move the legs down. You can get him moving forward, but not all the way like the Marvel Legend, because it still has a more rigid plastic kind of underwear. The knees bend pretty good. You get a little bit of a thigh swivel. And then the feet are on ball joints, actually, so you get some pretty decent range out of that. And the armor is a little more flexible, too, so it'll get out of your way. So yeah, man, the poseability and all that, pretty good on these. Not perfect. I actually think the poseability is better on the Marvel Legends, the new Marvel Legends version. But one of my big complaints with that was the deco. And looking at the Mark III here, you can just see this deco, man. That is the candy red that I crave. That is what it should look like. This is Iron Man. This is exactly what a nice looking Iron Man figure should look like. And I hate to do it. I hate to bog it. But let's bring in that Marvel Legend so we can just see the difference. Here, let's make it a little more fair. Let's turn the lights off. That makes him look a little too premium. Let's turn those lights off and take a look. And yeah. His legs are a little more splayed out. That's why he looks almost the same height. Yeah, that's what it should look like. But Hasbro, they just cast it in the red. They could cast it in the red, but at least cast it in a darker red. Because they cast the Endgame Iron Man 85 in a darker red, the original version, and it looked great. They did the redone Mark 50 from Infinity War in a darker red, and that looked great. I just don't know why they do this brighter red, because it just looks a little cheap and toyetic. But I do have to say, these ZD Toys figures, you know, with all this quality and everything, they do come with a price tag. Oh no, a price tag. Oh man. So if you're uninitiated, you may be wondering like, oh man, what's this price tag? You can also see how the shoulders move out. I'm sorry, I just got to show it more. It's so cool. Yeah, you may be wondering, oh, what's this price tag? Especially for this light up version. I mean, these are pretty premium looking. They got a lot of accessories. Look at those boxes, man. Those are high end boxes. I mean, with the light up and the premium paint and everything. I mean, this is a $25 Marvel Legend. Oh my gosh, how much more would these cost? These cost about $10 more. That's it. They cost about $10 more on average. Yeah, $25, about $35 to $40. Wow. Now, granted, yes, ZD Toys is not Hasbro. I understand that. There's different aspects to the companies. There's a lot of different formalities with the toy industry and the toy companies where the price differences happen. There's different markets and everything, because I ordered these from, I think, AliExpress. So these are not available in the U.S. I had to import them from, you know, a Chinese, you know, Asian-based website. But still, I feel like both of these, both being officially licensed, both being in the same kind of realm of 6-7 inch action figure, I see that price difference, and I'm just like, could Hasbro not do a little better? I mean, I don't know, but like this one lights up, man. It's covered head to toe in paint. Comes with a lot more accessories. Like, besides the Robert Downey Jr. head, that basically, this fills all my complaints I had with this. And yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what ZD Toys does in the future. They did start off with doing some like Infinity War and Endgame figures, and honestly, those don't look that great. They did definitely come from rough starts and rocky beginnings, but they have definitely proven themselves to be pretty competent figure makers. Now, granted, the articulation's better on the Legends, because I got to give the Marvel Legends team credit. They know how to articulate an action figure, unless they want to give them really weird ratchety shoulders. But, man, ooh. It's just one of those things where it's like, I know I shouldn't be making this comparison, but it's hard not to, right? It's hard not to look at these next to each other and just wonder, like, you know, could Hasbro be on this level? Could they? Like, how much money would Hasbro charge for this exact item? How much, you know? Because Hasbro has done light up Iron Man. They have. Remember, they did that Infinity War 3-pack with the Mark 50 that lights up. Now, granted, it was just the chest, but it was a light up feature. And it just makes me wonder, like, Hasbro can do it. They have done it. Like, Hasbro has proven themselves to be fully capable of doing this exact thing. They've done the lights. They've done the nice premium paint. An example being Ultron. Like, he's fully painted silver, so is the Marvel Legends Ultron, the new one. It just makes me wonder, like, Hasbro has proven themselves to be capable of doing these things at the price point that Hasbro already has. But how much would Hasbro charge for something basically like this? Just maybe make it, you know, slightly smaller to fit in Marvel Legends. You know? How much would that cost? That's my question. Because I'm just curious, man. Because, like, totally, don't even put these really fancy-dancy boxes in the equation. Here, let me put these in the back, because these are just gorgeous boxes. Yeah, don't even consider these fancy-dancy boxes back there. Don't even think about those. These boxes that have, like, heft and weight and magnets and flaps and ribbons. Don't even think about those. Just the base product. Also, it comes with a display base, mind you. And it also came with this charging cord, by the way. It came with that charging cord. So, I wonder. We'll see. We'll see if Hasbro steps up to the plate and tries to make something more premium. And I can see Hasbro trying to get like $50 out of that. Honestly, if not 60. But even then, man, it's the toy industry. We don't know every little facet of the things that go on behind the scenes. A lot of people like to pretend that they do, but we don't. You know, we only see this from one side of the curtain. So everything that I'm saying is basically speculation. I raised that question out of curiosity and out of thought for us to kind of talk about and discuss. But yeah, guys, there we go. That's pretty much it. That is my review of the ZD Toys Iron Man Mark 1. Actually, the Iron Man Mark 2. Mark 1, whenever I get that, I will review it for sure. And then the Light Up Mark 3. These figures are awesome. And as you can see, Mark 3 is still lighting up perfectly fine. I may not even have to charge it after this. I've been talking for 15 minutes and he's still going strong. And I have not charged him at all since I've bought him. I mean, I bought him and I charged him, but since then, I've had him for about a month or two. I have not charged him. I don't know why I waited so long to talk about those guys, though. I like, a lot of Iron Man stuff came out, and I'm like, I'll talk about the new stuff first, and then I'll go back to the ZDs. And I'm happy I did, because I could do this comparison. Alrighty, though, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks and shout out to the patrons of Patreon. You guys are super awesome. Thank you all so much for the continued support. I always genuinely appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.